What is going on, comic fans? Welcome to At Week's End. It's Sunday night. That means it's time to look back on the week, look at the things we enjoy, and spoil them together as a community. And it's been an awesome week. We've had Prime Eagles, Quantum Folding Doors, universes colliding, old gods chasing down new gods and battling each other. We've had superheroes saving bizarro planets. It's been nuts. And can you trust an android? I don't think you can anymore. We're going to get into all of that right after this. Do you trust androids?
I don't know, but I never thought that I would say I'd rather have a xenomorph on my side than a human being.
Yeah. Golly, I didn't even think about that. God, what a weird. This show's just, I don't know. These last two episodes really put it in perspective. For those that don't know, we're talking about Alien Earth. You know, it's been a weird little ride. I've been fishing in the episodes as I watch them, looking for the elements that I like about the franchise to pull them out and pull them forefront. And it's just gotten weird, man. It's just, I don't know, like, it almost reminds me of The Boys when I see like people talking about it or reacting to it. It's like, I get it. You're reacting to the violence. You're reacting to the gore. But there's a lot of stupid stuff happening in the show that is being overlooked for that. Or it's kind of like people are okay with substituting it. Yeah, that makes no sense. That was stupid. That's dumb. That doesn't add up. But this person got bit. So that is fine. It's good. I don't know. I got more questions than you can answer in one finale, I think. I don't know if that's the case. We'll have to watch it to see, and we'll get to it. But in the meantime, be sure to check out the links in the description below. While you ponder Alien Earth, ponder on BigTimeCollectibles.com. While you're checking out retailer exclusive, con exclusives, mystery box, all kinds of cool stuff and good covers. And if you need any of those books cleaned or pressed, or any of them at all before you send them off to submitting, check out Justin Comics Cleaning and Pressing. And don't forget, channel membership is live, rocking and rolling. I think we got like 80 members right now, 80 members strong. But there are 2 tiers, so don't forget. The supporter tier does get you the loyalty badges and the custom emojis. But the Legionnaires tier, the Legion tier, will get you early access to videos, your name on the Legion loot wheel, the monthly giveaway thing, and exclusive invites, offers, and early content. Appreciate any and everybody who helps out the channel.
Congratulations. This week, I believe you officially passed 5,000 subscribers, right?
I did do that. That happened, I think, Thursday, maybe. Thursday, past 5,000 subscribers. I've been quietly noticing as it inched the last 100 subscribers as it was getting closer, and had two videos performed really, really well in the last week. One short and one long. So I was holding back. I've been sitting on these Batman Forever toy unboxings that I have that I've been wanting to post, but I've been waiting to do it because I didn't want to juice the algorithm with shorts subscribers. But I had a short like crossed 23,000 views, and I had a long Batman Day one past a couple of thousand views, and it jumped it up. I think it jumped way past 5,000. It's at 5,032 subscribers right now. So it was a nice little jump.
There you go.
So I appreciate everybody who's come over and checked out the channel. If you're new to the channel, you found the right spot, especially if you're a fan of DC Comics, as I am a lifelong DC fan, and as is Paul. It's what we do around here. We DC hard. DC hard. We'll be talking some DC tonight, a little bit of Peacemaker, a little bit of the DC Marvel crossover. I have my round 2 picks for the DC KO, what's it called? Bracket.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we do any of that, let's say hey to the chat, and then we'll discuss Alien Earth a little bit. First and foremost, we got Chris back. Chris. We got Chris back in the building. He's back. He's also putting out videos and content and posts and stuff. So be sure to check out his channel. Big shout out to Chris. Glad to have you back, homie. It's good to see you. Hit him with let's go with the crypto. Yeah. Yeah, added in this past Tuesday. Crypto clip. Crypto. Superman's now streaming on HBO Max, and if you pre-ordered from Groove Entertainment, you got your copies in early. They shipped them out way early. But yeah, might look at that. Las Crucias, what's going on, homie? David, what's going on? It's in the week proper. What's up, Kyle? Good to see you in here. We shall try. Now the comic vet, what's up, Chris? The Adventurous One, Joseph Michaels. Hello, hello. Pop, pop. Hello to you, good sir. Do androids dream about electric sheep? Maybe.
Bah.
Yeah, bad. Big hello to Brian LCS. I was able to see him this weekend. Brian and Roscoe came up to ABX for Batman Day.
And we are in the final stretch for the CBC Awards. Last 3 weeks, I believe. Last 3 weeks to get your vote in. Go to cbcawards.org. You can vote for this man right here.
You vote for him.
So yeah, and then beginning of November is when they'll have the big reveal.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it's a lot different this year. The new categories and all that stuff, and it's really cool. Really cool. But yeah, so let's get into it. I don't have an image. I don't have nothing. I think I've been trying to forget it since I watched it. But Alien Earth, the penultimate episode 7 of 8, premiered this past week. Comes out on Tuesdays in case you're trying to watch it when it drops. It was an odd episode. Summed up like everything just kind of goes haywire all in one episode. Every character that exists in the show, save for one of them, becomes the stupidest person to ever exist inside the world that they live in. You have our main character, Wendy, aka Marcy, and her brother and one android friend trying to get off of the island. In order to help do it, she releases a xenomorph from containment to run amok on the island. You have the Weyland-Yutani Corporation trying to come in with their little strike team led by Morrow, the cyborg, who come in and pretty much just get stopped right upon entry by Kirsch, the synthetic, played by Timothy Oliphant. We still don't really know what his goals or motives are, and we're running out of time to have kind of a compelling story to it, other than it's like a little twist, cliffhanger kind of ending thing, like I was with Weyland the whole time, if that is the case. But what got stupid was the order of events and every single choice anyone made, in my opinion at least. But we have our main actress who plays this hybrid, this android body with potentially the consciousness of a little girl inside of it, has a pet xenomorph now. Talks to it, pets it, tells it to follow me and guard me from afar and hide. And we have strike teams that can no longer take down one xenomorph with an entire strike team in broad daylight and open. It's just gotten a little weird and far-fetched for me as a big fan of the Alien franchise. And I haven't seen an Alien movie I haven't liked. Even the bad ones I enjoy watching. Resurrection, AVP Requiem. I enjoy all of them. And there's definitely aspects of this show that I've enjoyed, but it's kind of jumped the shark in my opinion. What did you think of this one in general?
There seems to be some sort of correlation between holding things against their will on an island and people doing dumb things.
This is the bad island.
Yeah.
This is the bad one.
Yeah. It happens in Jurassic Park, it happens in King Kong, it's like, just don't hold things against their will on an island and maybe you'll be better off for it.
But we could probably take the island out of that sentence and it's probably still true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, man, I think what's got me so kind of detached from the show at this point is that there's so much, like I was looking for the potential in the beginning. I was listening like close to the details and the conversations that were being had. We had that striking conversation between Marcy's brother and the guy who worked for Prodigy, because the owner of Prodigy is a child prodigy. Where he was talking about they're not even sure if they successfully move the consciousness of the soul, the essence of these humans into these android bodies, or if it's just smart programming. And now we really don't have time to meaningfully explore that. Everything's we got the Oculus that they're looking to put it into a human. We have a xenomorph running around wild. We have all the hybrids arrested now. We have
xenomorph too. And the baby one.
They got the baby one back in the lab. Kirsch picked it up. Clearly, this show has done well enough viewer-wise and critically acclaimed-wise that they're going to get a second season, which I'm all for. I'm all for fleshing this out. But I'm just wondering if they wrote it knowing they're going to have a second season. That's what it's starting to feel like. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like there's much room for proper closure. Yeah, exactly, Pop. Season 2 coming. Mm-hmm. They need to go ahead and announce it. But I bet they wait till like if it comes out on Tuesdays. I bet they announce Wednesday it's been greenlit for a season 2.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise, you know, it could end up like a Lost situation where they really don't know how to get themselves out of what they put themselves into, you know, because up until this point, you kind of assume that it's going to, without having a second season, that it would somehow go into the movies somehow, or you would
go into the movie, just be a self-contained story, is what I thought. You know, like almost every. It's almost like a horror movie genre thing. You know, you have like a self-contained story, and then they have like a little twist at the end, like, you know, the good guys win, the one or two survivors get away, and then the bad guys there, you beat them, but then they twitch. You know what I mean? And it cuts off, and it leaves you thinking, oh, there's going to be another one. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to pick up with the same main characters, but it's the xenomorphs that matter. You know, it's Jason Voorhees that matters and stuff like that. You know, you have a whole twist ending that everyone survives, and then it pans out from the survivors getting in the cryo tube, and you see a little thing ping in that there's something else on the ship, and it cuts off. You know, kind of one of those. Mm-hmm. What is going on? The Immortal one, we got ABX in here. Otherwise, it ends like Sopranos is Wednesday. Yeah, they start playing Journey.
Exactly, just play Journey and fade to black. It'll be good.
They've been having some impressive soundtrack stuff in this that everyone's been pretty happy with. How hilarious would that be if it just starts playing Journey toward the end of this and everyone starts freaking out? No. Yeah, it was pretty wild and dynamic action wise, even though, like me, I was face palming for the action stuff, except when we get to the pier and they get cut off and the redheaded Nips, the redhead hybrid, kind of starts malfunctioning. Yeah. It's all a dream of a kid. The whole thing takes place within a snow globe. That would make more sense than what we're getting. That would definitely make more sense.
I get that St. Elsewhere reference.
The what reference?
St. Elsewhere. That was St. Do you ever remember the show St. Elsewhere?
Mm-mm. I remember them playing with the snow globe earlier.
It was back in the in the 80s. It was back in the 80s, and it was the final episode. Basically, it's this kid. It was about a hospital, and it was set up. Mm-hmm. It was like a hospital drama before ER was, but it ran for like 6 or 7 years. And in the last episode, you have this little autistic kid who has a snow globe, and inside of it, there's this little hospital says St. Elsewhere, and you realize that the whole entire show has been
his imagination
making up these stories. So
yeah, just a snow globe on the shelf on the Nostromo. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, man, it's hard for me to even try to rank this episode because it's shot beautifully and they've moved the story and it's moved in goofy directions. The performances or whatever. It is, I don't know. I think a lot of this show as a whole hinges on how this last episode goes for me, though.
Yeah, and to your point, will it be like almost like a complete 7 or 8 hour movie or whatever, however long the series, or will it be setting up a season 2 with a cliffhanger and
with these same actors and stuff coming back to continue the story? Yeah. We'll see. What is going on, Stephen, with the C? Good to see you in here. The big thing for this week, no complaints from me, was shocker, everybody, was definitely Peacemaker. We got the Prime Eagle. Yeah, this was what a moment. Episode 5, it was pretty major. It starts off right where we ended up, with Harcourt setting up a meeting with Peacemaker on behalf of Argus. We have Rick Flag Sr. offering to get her off the blacklist, get her back to working, a job back if you bring me Christopher Smith. So it starts off with her at the city, right by the city hall out in the park, and she's sitting on a bench. You got Judo Master posted up on the sniper. You got Agent, what was it? Agent Burgundy and Sasha Bordeaux sitting with the earpiece in. You have Agent Ivory, aka Flurry, on the other side, and you have Flag Senior. They're all waiting for him, and he shows up clearly knowing what's going on, like taking cover, and he talks to her, and finds out that she went to bring him in, but she used some code words to let him know it's a setup, and he still came in because he's wanting to find out if there was ever anything really between us. He's really making his last attempt and try to find any reason at all to stay in this earth. He's getting ready to sever ties, pack his bags, and head to the greatest dimension ever, aka Earth 2, aka Earth X with an asterisk. But the whole episode, they end up bringing him in after a little skirmish. That poor, I forget his name, PewDiePie or something like that. Whatever his nickname was, he tries to draw down on Chris, and Chris runs by and just breaks his arm and then knocks him out, and he's wearing him as a human shield. But they end up taking him in, but not before we get Sasha Bordeaux actually getting to see her cybernetic abilities, as she's been a long-running character in comics, started out in Detective Comics, went over to Checkmate, and we see her cybernetic ability and stuff. She doesn't have the cyborg hand like you would normally see, and they don't have like a big metal spot on her eye, but they straight up showed you where she's enhanced.
Right. Harcourt ends up taking him down because she knew that she was about to take out Chris.
Yeah, when they bring him in safe and sound, we finally get the scene that we've been waiting for with Rick Flag Sr. face to face with the man who killed Rick Flag. And Peacemaker, obviously at this point, we spent a whole season one him trying to reconcile that, and this whole season still haunted by it. And he just allows Rick Flag Sr. just to beat the hell out of him, including the knee shot heard around the world. Like that was like he planted this dude. Like it was crazy.
Yeah,
that was an absolutely crazy shot. But ultimately, John Economos puts his job on the line again and books him in the system. So he's now in the system, and there's eyes on him. And they get out of there, and he just says his goodbyes to everybody in a note and heads for the greatest dimension ever. Judo Master tails him without him knowing. All the while, Red Saint Wild has been hunting Eagly, and it appears to take Eagly down. But when he goes to claim the body, he gets surrounded by countless eagles, and they all start attacking him. And Eagly shows up, and he full on goes like tapped into the red meta human eagle here. And he actually is exactly what Red Saint Wild thought he was. And Red Saint Wild wasn't crazy. He was actually using his third eye to see Eagly for what he really was. And they ravagely ripped him to pieces. Yeah. I'm going to pretend like you found that.
Yeah. He drops his finger.
Yeah, it comes back inside and just drops his finger, and Peacemaker's like, I'm just going to pretend like you found that. Yeah. He goes back about his business. But the show ends with him flying through the sky with his brother and his dad and Eagly, going to go fight a kaiju. We get a cutscene to see the kaiju itself, and it's the same kaiju from James Gunn's Superman. Mm-hmm. So that has me wondering, does that confirm Lex Luthor in this universe? Does that
I don't know.
Because we know that it was Lex that brought that kaiju in. Right. So I don't. Kind of curious about that one. The implication, or if it's just a hollow Easter egg.
Right. Rick Flag and his group show up just a little bit too late again. Vigilante and what's her name now? I can't think of her name.
Adebayo,
yeah. Have taken the portal control or whatever and taken it to another place to try to open up the door again, which we know they'll be successful if you saw any of the clips for next week. So
yeah, they're all heading over there.
Right.
It's going to get interesting because what have they talked about? Episodes 6 and 8 are going to be the most shocking and revealing episodes. I'm sure whatever's shocking and revealing about 6 will end up being the stinger at the end of the episode, most likely. But it's going to be, it's going to be balls to the wall from here on out. I'm really, really excited. This episode was kind of the pivotal, emotional character depth growth connection episode, just like episode 5 was with season 1. I feel like anything that happens beyond this point, like everything has so much more weight to it now. I think the next time we see Judo Master, he's going to be in an internment camp. It might be the reveal of the dark side of the best universe ever for Chris. I was thinking the same thing.
He's the only one who went. He's the only one that got a chance. That got through before it closed.
Yeah, we've all been thinking, if Adebayo goes over here, she might be the reveal, but Judo Master went over there behind him, and he's very not Chinese, but he is very Asian.
There are no flaming Cheetos. I'm gonna say, that'd be for him.
He's gonna go on a kicking spree if that's the case, because they definitely highlighted that he ran out in this episode. But yeah, I love the emotional beats. I love the use of November Rain. The Guns N' Roses song was like perfect for that. It was it was just a good episode. It was a really good episode. I still remember that they used what's the band called? Faster Pussycats. They used that song for episode 5 of the last one when he kind of had his breakdown, his little crisis of conscience in the first season. There was a song called House of Pain where it was just kind of like cry dancing, breaking down in his house. And you would have like flashbacks to Killing Flag. It was a really good episode, though. I enjoyed it immensely. What is going on? Cormon Hideout. Do you have any, now that we're a little bit farther along, now that we're there, all we have to do is get to the next episode, but do you have any stronger feelings about what the big reveal might be or what some of the major characters brought in? Or
I still think we're going to see Superman at some point.
Yeah, especially after that photo, right?
Yeah. You don't just show up on another set, just happen to be wearing your costume.
With a spit curl.
Right.
And James mentioned offhanded remarks that all these movies and shows, you're going to be able to sit down and watch them without homework ahead of time. But he does want this to kind of point you in the direction, definitely point you in the direction of Man of Tomorrow. And I thought about that photo too, because there's a photo of Christopher Smith and Superman both in wardrobe. He's wearing the outfit that he was wearing in this episode and the one before. I wonder if there's any overlap in the filming schedules, and if they're both DC studios, or they wouldn't necessarily be far away from each other depending on shooting days.
Right. They probably both film for the most part in Georgia, I would assume. Of course. Gunn didn't direct any of them, so he could have, he wrote them, and he could have been still putting 99% of his energies into directing Superman.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a given that Superman's going to show up somewhere. But I just hope that that's not our big reveal. Pops shared, man, he tagged me in something today. It was some quote from James Gunn, because I'm really
seems like he's strongly been hinting more Charlton characters.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Here it is. What did this quote say? James Gunn says fans might be in luck regarding more Charlton characters in the new DCU, which could include you. So that was when asked, he said you might be in luck. But we'll see. I want, after seeing this episode and that poor Argus PewDiePie character getting his hand broken and beat up, it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to augment this guy. He's going to need some kind of adjustment, whether it's to Captain Atom him, whether it's to Sarge steal his hand, something. But there's ways you can go about it. What is going on, Matt? James Gunn has been in the show Big Brother. He's a fun guy. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. But they got some work to do to get him in there before it's just a pass by cameo.
Right.
They need to have like this episode 6 needs to be the realization that the world that he's in is terrible. Mm-hmm. Episode 7 needs to be him linking up with the Sons of Liberty from the earlier in the season, with Rick Flag leading them as a straight man, not a goofy guy. He needs to be on his job. And there needs to be other Charlton characters working with them, that there's other supers.
Every time he says best universe ever, that's another clue that it's not the best universe ever.
It's definitely not. Yeah. That's a given. I wonder if he thought that people would pick up on it so early in the show, because people picked up on it immediately. Taylor Winter was saying it after episode 1. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll see Rick Flag Jr. again this season. I'm still holding out hope that I think he's the leader of the Sons of Liberty. And I have no evidence. I just feel like it's true. I have no reason to believe it to be true, but I feel like it is. I don't have a hard time thinking they would bring Joel Kinnaman back just for that one cameo scene. And knowing how they talk about how the Sons of Liberty would get in and get out, and they were hitting these buildings with, he's got some knowledge. You got to have someone on the inside. And who would dislike Peacemaker in the trio more than the guy who's competing for the girl? Mm-hmm. Not only are you fighting to save your world from the psychopaths, you're trying to win the girl. But I'm not holding out hope that he's there. I'm just hoping he's there.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rick Flag Jr. was acting like Clark Kent. He was, wasn't he? The bumbling and stuff like that. That's a good observation. Tripping over stuff. What got me is when he pulled up over the thing with 2 telephones.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I just I want to see him in there one more time. Earth X Vigilante is running Sons of Liberties. I have no proof of that, but I love it. That's a good guess.
And he did make the comment this episode, "Oh, I hope I find another me."
He's going to kill himself. If there's
Yeah.
anybody that's going to kill him, it's going to be Adrian, right?
Right.
But yeah, I feel like we've seen alternate Adrian in the opening credits, like wearing the. No, I think that's the Argus guy. I thought like I have to go back and watch it, but we have like 2 Harcourts in there, and
Right.
there's an Adrian who's wearing like almost like burglar gear, like the black ball cap, the black jacket that's not zipped up, and a dark shirt. It looks like, and I always assumed that was like alternate Adrian. Might have been Adrian in the Sons of Liberty gear. Now that I think about it, Sons O Liberty.
That's the Irish offshoot.
Yeah, they've got different chapters.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. Super excited for it. And if you're watching, if you're a channel member, come by Thursday nights. I go live for members only stream sometime around 8 o'clock or after, and we pregame and hang out, open some mail, kick it, and talk before the show kicks off. It's found it to be a good little pocket to do weekly member only streams while wait on the show to start. It's really fun.
And if the show goes for another 10 more seasons, you can get all your mail open.
Yeah, that's true. If it'll stop coming in, though, right?
Exactly.
Rooker's gun was bigger than Andre the Giant. Yeah, that's a good point. The Red Saving Wild's gun, it was insanely large. It was wild. Yeah, that character came and went pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a good little time
Did
era.
you read that James Gunn said Dave
Rooker
Bautista
wasn't the original cast?
Dave Bautista was, and neither was John Cena. Dave Bautista was the original Peacemaker. He wanted Dave Bautista.
I think he struck gold with John Cena. Batista's great as well, but he struck gold with John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on, Rich? It was an anti-aircraft gun. Yes.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're right. I mean, like Rooker wasn't the original. Freddie Stromer wasn't the original Vigilante.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
They had filmed like 3 or 4 episodes with the old one. They had to go back and redo all the scenes.
Could you imagine somebody else playing Adrian?
Yeah,
I definitely can't.
That was on his one of the first podcasts that they did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I could not imagine I cannot imagine replacing any of the cast in this. Mm-hmm. Like they all just work so well together. They've got natural chemistry. But yeah, what is going on, Donovan? Good to see you in here, homie. But yeah, it was a good episode. Because like man, it was such a performance-driven episode, and it's just something about the emotional beat episodes. They just get me. I gave this episode a solid 9 out of 10. Let's jump over to this. DC KO is quickly approaching. They've been in the store for a couple of weeks now, but the local comic shop day DC KO previews, they're like a sampler book for DC KO. There's even a foil version of it, but it's getting here quick. I don't know how many more weeks we have till it gets here, but we got round 2 up of the bracket. So now these are my picks on this. Paul had a couple of different ones than me, but out of Superman and Captain Atom, again, because of they told us that it's a Superman-centric story. I gave that one to Superman. Now to Firestorm and Jay Garrett, I gave it to Firestorm. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I think he would win. And 2, I think that they're going to give a lesser used character a little room to do something. But who would you take for those first 2? Like based off your grid, like if you had a different one, feel free to carry over.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Superman. I think probably again just based on what they've said. Although you know what, like Captain Atom and Firestorm to me are like anyone who can manipulate elements.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you could change oxygen to be whatever it is you want, and the person just can't breathe anymore. You know, so it's gonna be tough to beat Firestorm or Captain Atom. It'd be tough to beat either one of them. I think Aquaman too, because I think they're really setting. I mean, they already have set him up to
He's
be one of the most
leveled
powerful.
up.
Exactly,
Yeah.
one of the most powerful. And yeah, I think Lex probably over the demon because Lex doesn't care. He's like you; he doesn't care if the demon speaks in riddles or backwards or whatever. So
he's smart enough to have ways around it. Because I can see, like, ultimately, and I'll tell you my cheat code here. Ultimately, I see this half of the grid coming down to Superman versus Lex. Yeah. I legitimately see this one coming down to Superman versus Lex, and then ultimately Superman on this one. But I would have loved to see like a no holds barred Superman versus Aquaman, but they kind of gave us like the potential of seeing that with the most recent issue of Aquaman, where we've seen him. He's leveled up. He's like a deity of the blue, like a proper avatar of the blue now. He's got the hydrokinetic powers. He's stronger. He's got weapons that are forged with the magic of Atlantis and stuff. He's like A tier player now. He was already an A tier player in my book, but kind of there's a couple of characters that operate in that realm, and Superman is kind of the apex of that realm. But Aquaman moved up a few pegs in it. But checking the other side of the grid, I think we had a couple of different takes on this one. But I took Wonder Woman out of the Wonder Woman and Starro, and Lobo out of the Lobo and Plastic Man. Now, Plastic Man, that one's very debatable with Lobo, but I think that's going to be a kind of a fan favorite pick on that one. Yeah. So when it comes down to Wonder Woman and Lobo, I think they're going to side with the Amazon princess there. I think they're going to give it to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I would agree with Wonder Woman as well. Although, I mean, Lobo, you cut him in half, and like the top half will just keep crawling at you.
Yeah. I can't remember what story it was where he kept cutting himself into pieces to spawn a bunch of other little Lobos before he then went and killed them all.
Although if it's the New 52 Lobo, he's gone in a second.
Yeah. He didn't even show up to this fight.
Right.
He's like, "Oh no, I'll pass."
Yeah, he's like, I don't fight.
But yeah, Swamp Thing, I had taking Vixen, and Cyborg, I had taking Batwoman. So with Swamp Thing and Cyborg, I legitimately am going to pick Swamp Thing. Cyborg, he's completely useless against someone like Swamp Thing, especially if they have him out somewhere. Like I don't think Cyborg can do much with that.
Yeah, I mean he can. They kind of have powered up Cyborg the past couple of years as well, since the New 52, really, kind of.
Well, they depowered him once we hit the Dawn of DC era and gave him. Well, I'm being serious. We gave him like a bunch of real body back and everything.
Right, and we put him to sleep for a while.
Yeah. Remember that weird Beast Boy thing that they did for a minute? Oh, that was weird. But I just don't like Swamp Thing is like you're standing on him no matter where you are. Like you're standing on Swamp Thing somewhere somehow. Depends on the writer too, but how far they want to push it, how far they want to go with it. But I think that's a cool matchup. You have like the natural versus the man-made, with Swamp Thing versus Cyborg. I can really see those two making it to that bracket together. And I would definitely take Swamp Thing. A little bit of favoritism on my part as well.
I know. Last week I picked Batman and Damian, but the more I think about it, I kind of think it's been overdone in a lot of ways.
Yeah, a lot of people, this will be their first time seeing it though. And again, my reasoning behind those two ending up in that match together is I think that's the only way that we get Batman not to the end of this bracket. Because with Scott Snyder writing this, and he's also writing Absolute Batman, I don't think he's going to elevate this Batman. I think he's like, I'm already doing Batman. Let me work with other characters. Let me do something different. And if it was me having to script this, I'm like, man, how do I beat Batman? That would just be like an Achilles heel opportunity to have Damian, and I'm taking Damian in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say,
you looking underneath them, you got Zatanna, Barda, Harley, and Metamorpho.
I was gonna say I would have said, maybe the Red Hood, but who knows what's gonna happen to the Red Hood now. So
yeah, Red Hood's fighting Damian. Yeah, they like get him out of here.
Yeah.
We don't want to. But I took Zatanna over Barda with fan favorite a little bit in there, and also that can go either way. Barda's a total badass, but Zatanna is also a badass and a massive fan favorite. And Harley and Metamorpho. Harley always wins by the power of the plot. Always. Pop says, no way in hell is Harley beating Metamorpho. We watched Harley kill the entire zoo crew with the power of the plot.
You keep equating her beating these anthropomorphic animals.
They're tough.
Beating Metamorpho, who can basically take a swing at him and your hand goes through him.
Yeah, but I don't think she's going to swing at him. Metamorpho's a giant child. He is a immature, goofy kid, and he'd be the easiest person in the world for Dr. Harleen Quinzel to trick into beating him somehow. I don't think that they're going to be like, she would just, I think that'd be a layup for her to beat him. In all honesty, he is way more powerful than her. If he was locked in and paying attention, sure, absolutely, he could take her. Yeah, but can he though? I mean, if you put somebody else's brain in that body, maybe Rex Mason's. Doubt it. Yeah, I don't see Rex being like look how he's written. Like he's like one of the most powerful characters, but they gave him one of the most immature, incapable personalities inside of that body. Yeah, exactly. Metamorpho is going to simp to death. Exactly. He's just going to be trying to hit on Harley the whole time, and she's just going to offer him a drink.
Hey,
he's going to give him a Cosby soda. Maybe
Joey needs a mama.
Yeah, looking for a sugar mama. But yeah, I know a lot of people are going to pick Metamorpho in this, but I think, and I could very well be wrong. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. She's a simp for Rex. She's the one chasing him down despite all odds. But dude, they made her look like a crackhead in the movie when we saw what's her name, Rex's old lady, Joey's mom. They're like in this busted down broken house, and she's like all makeup running and stuff and hair frizz. She looked like a straight crackhead. She's supposed to be like a pop star. We were Simon Stagg's daughter, and he's a billionaire. And we see his building. We're inside of his building in the movie. You see the files on Lois's desk.
Yeah.
And
I know this is supposed to be a Superman thing, and I still believe that, but I feel like the way that we're kind of bringing this down to Superman versus Wonder Woman, and to me that would be the boring way out. You know,
that's a good point.
The good thing about these brackets is that there's always an underdog. There's a surprise winner, that you didn't think was going to be there.
Harley. Yeah, I think we're past her shine, though. We are a little bit past Harley's shine. This isn't circa 2016 anymore. But who do you see ultimately on this side of the bracket?
Well, what you have there, I would pick Wonder Woman, and I probably would have picked the same thing. But as I'm thinking about it more, I'm like, okay, you know what? That sets up Superman versus Wonder Woman, and that's been done. That's just boring.
So if we take it back to round one, just looking at our options on this side of the bracket, how like not even worrying about how they pair up to get there. Who do you think would be a good final face-off kind of thing? There's not very many. Superman versus Lobo is that's a battle, right? That's legit a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see,
look, Pop's seeing it. He was seeing it too. Yep.
Yeah, maybe they'll tie it in. Maybe it'd be Superman versus Logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have potential to get that. I might change up that grid now that you mention it. There's a lot of thought that I put into this, and some of it is even like, and it sucks to even have to point it out, but like there is some of the backlash that DC would get if they don't have like female characters run up this grid a little bit too. Mm-hmm. Because like they're gonna get pushback, not from female comic readers, but typically from the dudes that think that it matters as much to people. It's weird. But if they don't put Wonder Woman or Harley or someone way up in this grid, and I think they'd be a little bit afraid of pushback. I don't know how much that's going to influence Scott Snyder's writing, though. He doesn't seem to really phase his other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust the process. Let Scott do what he's going to do. But yeah, if it's not this natural progression, which ultimately I think I would have with Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman, I was thinking like what character could possibly stop Swamp Thing, and I was going to give that to Wonder Woman, and I would have put it down like Wonder Woman and Harley. Believe it or not, like legit. Oh no, Wonder Woman and Damian, and that would call back to those phenomenal issues that we had with them two. Remember those issues? It was like a backup story with Wonder Woman and Damian, like questioning people. Like, God, what book was that? Was that Absolute Power? The Wonder Woman issues when they were looking for Batman or something, and they were like taking turns interrogating people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So they have a little bit of recent chemistry set up too.
Yeah, and you mean you also have, they have also because Damian has become kind of best friends with Trinity.
Mm-hmm. So it can go numerous ways. It's going to be interesting. We might revisit this as we get closer, but right now, I see it going one of two ways. It's Superman against Wonder Woman, or if they don't want to go that very cliche route, Superman versus Lobo, which I think would be epic. And if they want to do a twist, let Lobo win. Have the last Zarnian juiced up with King Omega energy go face Darkseid. We haven't seen that before.
There you go.
Man. And he's getting a little push right now. We got the the Supergirl movie coming. You got to really get this character out there to the general audience. He's a cult favorite. He's a fan favorite, but to a general audience, you got to get him out there ahead of time. Maybe this is that moment. We just had our Marvel DC crossover that's been talked about for a long time. Finally hit shelves this week with Deadpool Batman #1. So there's going to be 2 of these one shots. This is just the first in series of 2 of them. The second one comes out in November. It'll be called Batman Deadpool. This one was distributed by Marvel. The next one will be distributed by DC. And inside of this book, before we get into the specific fights, we did get a little bit of a Deadpool push. I mean, a Lobo push. In the very back, they didn't advertise this story, but there's a few pages. It's like 3 pages, short story. It wasn't branded Amalgam, but it was an Amalgam character introducing Logo, a mashup of Wolverine and Lobo, who famously fought each other in Marvel versus DC back in the 90s, which sparked the Amalgam universe. This right here is a cover of a second print that's coming out soon, which I'll be getting this copy. Like this is the one I want with my little mashup character here. I'll probably even I think this sold out like at the LCS. I'll probably even put this copy in the Legion loot and just get this copy for my keep copy, because that's the one. I think it's a Patrick Gleason cover even, but Thanoside was in there, and there's a little cameo there, and he went to claim his Ultron bounty and then take back off to the stars. Wasn't really nothing to it other than the awesomeness of getting some Amalgam stuff. What'd you think of this this book? Well, first off, what'd you think of Logo?
I liked it. I liked all the stories for the most part. We talked about this beforehand when we recorded the deep dive, but probably one of the weakest ones was the Deadpool Batman one. It was like there were no consequences to it really. It was just, oh, it's the Joker. He hired somebody else to try to take down Batman for him, and then when Batman starts talking up Deadpool, he suddenly gets all uppity, and he doesn't want Deadpool anymore, and so it's like it was pretty nondescript. Like I said, no real for a full story. There was no consequences. There was no stakes. There was nothing really.
It was kind of annoying. I'll be honest with you. I like Deadpool a lot as a character. I like watching him in movies. I like when he'd pop up and little stuff here and there. I was reminded why I don't pull Deadpool comics, why I don't read this character monthly, because he's insufferable and annoying as hell, especially when you put him in the backdrop of Gotham with character like Batman or Gordon. It really has an insufferable flow to this book. Like reading all this, like you feel as a reader just like how he's trying to make the people around him feel, and that's a really annoying and annoyed by him. Like I don't enjoy that. I know if some people read it and like it, that's all well and good. The artwork was good. Capullo's art was fun in there. It was fine, but there's really no dynamic moments. Like you get this half a second confrontation with Batman and Deadpool where he just kind of wraps him up and takes him off to go help him find the Joker, and then there's nothing to it. Like there's There was no big fight. They didn't have this big battle between Batman and Deadpool. Even if it becomes like a draw or something like that, there was none of that in there, which was unfortunate. But the second story in it that Chip Zdarsky wrote with Wonder Woman and Captain America was phenomenal. It was my second favorite story in the book. It was the most meaningful one. It was how they it's kind of like an assumed thing that on this world, in this multiverse, they're assumed to have just been in the same world as each other. So they crossed paths during the war, and they've heard of each other out on the battlefield, but they didn't first cross paths until the moment when Steve has won the war, and it's the moment where he has Hitler at the end of a gun, and Hitler's down on his knees, and he's like struggling with the realization that this guy's caused all this death. This is it. It's over with. He doesn't even deserve to live. And Wonder Woman is kind of puts the lasso up to him. And she's like, no, do you want him dead? And he's like, yes. She's like, is that justice? And he's like, no. And like, he proves again why he is the super soldier, why he is the best of us when it comes to Marvel characters. He's the moral Superman for Marvel. Like he is by far the best of us. And it was an amazing story. And it kind of jumps to like kind of hops through the future of the adventures that they go on over the years after that, and how meaningful that moment, that meeting of each other was, and how like they're each other's moral compass and guiding star into the far flung future. And you get a couple of panels with mashup characters that you've never seen before. And it was really cool, all the way ultimately to the old age Steve falling in battle, but Wonder Woman being there to kind of hold his hands as he crossed over. It was really good. Mm-hmm. It was really, really good. I read it. I'm like, God dang, who is this? Tom King? And I had to flip back and look to see who wrote it. I'm like, Chip Zdarsky. Well done, man. Well done. It reminded me a lot of the Avengers Twilight that he did. Just man, when he's one of those writers that he did fine on Batman. I know people love his Daredevil run, which was fine, I'm sure. But a lot of times when you let these writers like Tom Taylor, in this case Chip Zdarsky, when you let them have a little bit of freedom away from established continuity to really let loose some creativity, that's where they're at their best. Yeah. It was awesome. Picked up the Capullo cover. Haven't read New Batman #1. That was okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was solid. Could you imagine Tom King writing Deadpool? It would just it wouldn't even be room for pictures. It would just look like a novel, just him being insufferable. Or it could be like the most prolific Deadpool you've ever seen. Right. He would scale back. Like the humor would be a lot smarter. It wouldn't be so juvenile. I think that's what it is. Like the Deadpool humor is extremely juvenile. Extremely juvenile.
I mean, he does the whole oh yeah, you got a boy living with you. You probably heard all the jokes, right? In this one.
Yeah. It's just nothing about any of the jokes are funny. Like within, like you're reading, okay, that you're like, that's a joke. There's a joke, but none of it makes you laugh. Tom King writes plenty of characters where you get a little bit of humor out of them, but it's always like the disgruntled private detective kind of humor, you know. Deadpool is the new Ambush Bug. Fourth wall breakers are daggum horrible. I'd take Ambush Bug over it because at least he comes with costumes. Maybe that I'm super biased. There's no beating around the bush. I'm wildly biased. I really love the Deadpool movies, but if I'm going to read them, I'm taking Ambush Bug 10 out of 10 times. I like me some Ambush Bug. But the other story was Daredevil and Green Arrow, which was just a straight up team up. They're fighting, what was it, the Hand through the city, and then they end up ending up in the same alley together, fighting them. And they fight them together. Ultimately, Green Arrow has to go has to run into a building and come back out with a boxing glove to go knock somebody out. And it was Jack Murdoch's glove.
Right. Count Vertigo that day.
Yeah, can't knock out Count Vertigo, yeah. Then the next one was honestly a waste of paper. It was Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto the Dog with no dialogue, just them playing catch out in the snow.
And then being called back.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why they committed to having 4 pages of this. I guess it was just to sell a cover with them on it. But I was legitimately bummed out by that. I don't have nothing against Crypto. I've got everything in the world against Jeff the Land Shark. But I don't know why we would waste space on this in in an event like this where you finally get these two working together. But man, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Trump and FCC threat Disney to take action with Jimmy Kimmel situation. They in no win situation, no matter what decision they make. I think it was just the FCC. It was on the Benny Johnson podcast. The FCC was asked about it. But yeah, me and Paul were talking about that, how like it seems like conservatives have bailed on Disney years ago and we're canceling subscriptions left and right. And now the people on the left are bailing on Disney. So Disney has no allies when it comes to viewers anymore. I think Bill Maher summed it up best. He said over 20 years ago, he was canceled by ABC before cancel culture had a culture. And it was Jimmy Fallon that took his time slot when ABC canceled him for his statements regarding the events of 9/11 and the war back in the day. But
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel should have been necessarily taken off air, but they're tired of catching lawsuits because they're in the how does the left put it over the past few years? It's not freedom of consequences. That's how people on the left, that's what they said about, I don't know, Gretchen, Tucker, Gina, Roseanne, the entire crew of Sky News over in Australia, every individual American that got kicked off of Facebook when the government willingly went and told Meta and Zuckerberg how to monitor that platform and kick people off, or all the people over at Twitter that kicked off doctors, seated presidents, individuals, all of it exposed. So yeah, I don't have any sympathy whatever for anybody mad about him going or sad about him going. If you're mad or sad about him going, you're a freaking hypocrite. You've had your head in the sand for the past 6 years. But me personally, I like people having space to say stupid stuff. Because without people saying stupid stuff, you don't know what sounds right. I like hearing all the voices. But yeah.
Speaking of Disney, I thought I read that they greenlit a season 3 of Daredevil this week.
3? Because didn't they film 1 and 2 at the same time? Like they knew that they were going to do a long break.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is 1000% fact, Kevin. Yeah. Their market share dropped like 400.
They lost like $3 billion over the course of 1 month.
What is this? This is cool. Oh, tape it?
Yes.
You got it. What is it?
Monkey's weird balloon thing.
Oh, got it. Yeah. When did they announce the season 3?
I want to say like Wednesday or Thursday. I think I saw it.
That's a bold strategy. I hope we get a lot more Punisher in season 2. I assume we will at this point now that they brought him back, and he's going to be in the Spider-Man movie also, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't cancel my Disney either.
Just before we came on here, I saw apparently Tom Holland was brought to the hospital today.
Why?
Apparently he suffered a concussion on the set of Brand New Day.
Putting in the man hours. What if he does a lot of his own stunts and stuff? Because I know that we've seen him on, what is that show, Kyle, where they do the dancing and all that stuff?
The lip sync battle?
Maybe like, yeah, even on that, like he was like doing like flips and stuff and all that. Like I was thinking like, dude, that stage is wet. If you twist your ankle, like you just lost a lot of money.
Yeah, he did he did the Beyonce one, right? I think, right? Umbrella.
Yes. Yeah, and Zendaya was actually on the judge's dais during it. Yeah. Yeah, that was impressive. Yeah, wild stuff. And then what was after the crypto one? Green Arrow, was it
Rocket Raccoon? No, it was Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern. Just 2
Dude,
pages.
that one was wild. Yeah, we were pretty much with the Guardians of the Galaxy or with the Guardians of the Universe on Oa, and they're kind of doing like a free exchange and like, hey guys, like you can take my ring. And what did the Guardians give them? The Guardians of the Galaxy give them. I know Hal gave them the ring, and someone on Twitter was like, "This is so out of character for Hal. This doesn't even make sense." I'm like, you should have turned the page because you see there's a parallax reveal and it makes plenty of sense. But it was funny watching Rocket run around and attempt to do Green Lantern stuff, but it was fun. That one was just fun. I love the parallax reveal. They're like, hey man, we're dealing with some Hal's up with some weird stuff. Yeah.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
I really, and see, this is where I'm torn. Like that was legitimately fun, and I would love to see it continued. But for it to continue, that means we'd have to sacrifice doing something new. But if we're just going to do, I don't know, if there just needs to be an amalgam universe, not like a bunch of different titles. You need, just like how World's Finest is just one book on its own timeline. It's in continuity, but it's in the past at an unspecific time, and we just tell stories between existing stories. So they need that for amalgam, where you just have one title that Marvel and DC like put out together, where you can tell amalgam stories or crossover stories or whatever, but you have room to do a 6-issue miniseries and change it up with creative teams, characters, and everything. Because these little snippets, like you said, there's no stakes, there's no consequences, and you don't even really get into the story before it's over, and then we're not doing nothing else with it.
Right.
But I would have loved to gotten more of that. Like I'm maybe we're just biased to the color green. Who knows? But it was fun.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so. But then we got the Frank Miller story, which I loved. You had The Dark Knight Returns Batman, Frank Miller's Batman with Old Man Logan. And this was the only actual fight. Batman versus Wolverine, Old Man versus Old Man, going back and forth. Ultimately, Batman just got a grenade and hooked it to his belt and blew him up, and he just folds down like a lawn chair, and he's just laying there, not dead, but Old Man Logan doesn't heal fast, so he's just laying there, and Batman's like, when you get up, if you want to keep going, we can, kind of thing. Like that was cool. Short-lived Frank Miller art, which was awesome. It was very fitting for these old man versions of these characters. A lot of crouching. It's 2025. That's what we do.
He's in his crouching phase.
Yeah, it's his crouching phase. Squatty potty. Let me see if I can show y'all some of this. The panel layout, and it was so interesting. Yeah, like, so you have like these rectangle panel layouts so that you can get everybody crouching in every single shot. It's amazing. But yeah, we get Wolverine in his Frank Miller suit, but he hooked him up with the bombs and boom, just folded him. That was super cool. Oh man. Ready to call it a day, Fido? Ready to run home and lick your wounds? Sure, bub, and you come visit anytime you get the itch. I'll show you a time. Like, neither one of them giving up. It was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was my favorite one. It was the only one that there was a fight. Did Mark say we? How can control the ring without wearing it? Kevin said, I finally watched Superman on HBO Max. Not James Gunn's best work. No, it's not, but it's definitely good work. I would say Peacemaker is his best work tenfold. Like it's solid. But I really enjoyed the Superman movie. But yeah, it's my steelbook came. You got the steelbook too, right? Glow in the dark slip sleeve. Had no idea it was a glow in the dark slip sleeve. It was pretty solid. But yeah, that was that book for this week. It was Batman Day yesterday. Was annual Batman Day. Comes around once a year, and on Batman Day you can go to your local comic shops, and it's one of those days where the shop can order promo priced books so that they can hand out freebies to people coming in. They often run sales in the shop, and they also have exclusive books that are produced for that day. And the freebies for this year were Batman and Robin Year 1 by Mark Waid. We're up to like issue 9 of this series, so it's been out for a while.
11 issue 11 came out this past week.
Oh wow, have you been reading it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I need to go back and binge it on the DCU app. But yeah, that came out, and then the other one was DC Finest, which will be coming out with the Year 2. So they did a one shot of that from the 1980s story. And then for the exclusives, there was a foil Virgin. So these ones you'd pay for. There's Absolute Batman #1. I guess this one's considered the Batman Day edition. So I think it's like would be the 12th or 13th print at this point, because it's got a lot, man. But Nick Dragotta cover, and they even did a foil Virgin. So if you are a channel member in the Legion tier, have no fear if you miss Batman Day, because the foil Virgin exclusives were $10 a piece, as well as a copy of the freebies. Those are going in the Legion loot this month. So you'll be able to potentially win those. I don't need them. I figure somebody will, though. And then I'm going to keep this one for now. That'll be my Batman Day souvenir. There was also a sell in the store. Anything that was back issues that were $5 or under, he had on sale for 50 cents. I didn't get any 50 centers. The kids picked up both a single comic plus some freebies. I missed this on Tuesday, so I made sure to grab my copy of Second Night, Volume 2 of Dan Jurgens' Batman Black Label series. This is phenomenal, guys. If y'all didn't read the first one, it's only 3 issues and it's these big prestige formats. It's back in the late 30s, early 40s Batman, and it is good. It is really good. Mike Perkins and Mike Spicer are on the art and colors, and it is beautiful. We're talking Purple Glove era Batman. And then I picked up a trade paperback because they were on a very good deal percentage off all the collected volume trade paperbacks. So I got the DC Finest Supergirl Girl of Steel. This covers Supergirl from 1959 to 1962, including her first appearance. So you can get some of the most iconic Supergirl stories from the Silver Age. Some good stuff in there. And I got this to give away in the Legion loot as we get closer to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the movie, where we already have the comic to go with it. And since he's going to be in the movie, the first appearance of Lobo. So I've been sitting on these for a while. I'm telling y'all, I plan giveaways way in advance. Get them when you can get them cheap. But dude, I love these things. These DC Finest collections. I got 3 more special, just ordered right now. It's technically 2 different ones. I ordered 2 of one of them because it's meant to go in the Legion loot for this month, and then I ordered 1 to go in the Legion loot for next month. Which
did you get the Spectre one?
No, I have those books over there. I don't know why I didn't. They took the Spectre #1. Some of these covers are lame on these DC Finest. They picked some bad images. But I skipped the Spectre one mainly because there's an omnibus coming out and there's already another omnibus out, which both of those together would collect all of the. It doesn't have the Golden Age All-Star appearances, which is fine because I have those in the DC archives up here. But it does have the Adventure comic stuff and the Silver Age stuff and the Wrath of stuff. And then the new omnibus that's about to come out will be the Ostrander run.
Right.
And I'm looking at just getting those for my collected Spectre stuff, which I think that would be nicer because my Golden Age Spectre stuff is in the DC archive, so it's hardback already. And I don't want to mix hardback with softback if these are going to be like my long-term Spectre read keeps kind of thing. But I ordered 2 of one for myself to go on the shelf there, 1 to give away, and then the other one to give away next month. And then I'll have to order myself one of those eventually to put.
Which one did
on my shelf.
Did you get? Which ones did you get?
It's a secret.
Okay.
Yeah. I ordered 2 of the Suicide Squad ones that completely passed me by when they released. 1 for the shelf and 1 for the giveaway. And because it's the Ostrander run, it's got like Rick Flag on the cover and all that good stuff. It's the Trial by Fire is the primary story that's featured on the cover. And then I ordered another one of the Peacemaker ones to give away next month. Since Peacemaker technically ends next month, we'll have 1 more. I've been trying to piece together. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm waiting to show up, but piece together stuff for this month and next month to finish that celebration.
Already came out, I think. That's one that already came out.
Yeah, I gave one away already last month too, but Steve won it. But that DC Finest is awesome. A lot of people don't have it. It collects like the Charlton's run, this miniseries from Charlton, and then the first 4 issues of the DC stuff. Oh, nice. That's this week. Yeah, I've got that one on the pool list. I'm looking forward to that. I might do a video on that Wednesday then. I was trying to look to see because, I did that video on the Punisher #1 when it came out and Batman #1 when it came out. And I enjoy doing those like videos on like these new series when they drop. And I was wondering what's coming out this week, if there'll be anything notable to do that with. I might do that with the Phantom. That'd be a good one, Pops. There's a lot of cool covers.
I believe next week we will also have the opportunity to go through the history of the DC Universe, issue #3. We'll do that on here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. I'm looking at it right here. Yeah.
Because we've gone through the first 2.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. The first one was amazing. Oh, we got Monster. Oh, my God. The Space Ghost cover for next week is just insane. Oh, there it is. Phantom. Yeah. How many covers has it got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to need to get that Dan Barrett cover. That's the one. Let me see if I can pull this up here for a second. Do you keep up or ever keep up with the Phantom?
I have the last one I have the Free Comic Book Day one. That was it.
Yeah, that was this series right here. That's for this book that's about to start.
Right.
Got a 1 in 10. Let's see. So there's the A cover, which is pretty sick.
Oh yeah,
Looks cool. Then we got a Kanan White sequential battle variant. It's pretty clean. Oh, that's nice. Russell Mark Olson variant. It's got that heroic pose, the skull cave in the background. But this is the one I want. This Dan Barrett. That's nice. It's got that old school feel to it. Oh, that's Freddie E. Williams. That's why that looked familiar. That's the guy who does a lot of like. Yeah.
Yeah. He does the Turtles.
Yeah, a lot of the turtle stuff.
You need both of the Batman and the Turtles. You need both of those.
I think I might even get this blank and see if Austin would be willing to do something with it. Tacho, this is the 1 in 10. That looks like modern day comic strippy, which is pretty cool. Punching the gator out or the crocodile. And what is this? Mad Cave Web Store, Maria Wolf. Oh, nice. So I guess you have to get that off their website directly.
I'm surprised they're not doing, at least for issue number 1, some sort of like a Lee Falk cover.
You know, Ray Fox is writing it.
Yeah, isn't it Lee Falk? He's the one who actually.
Yeah, he created the Phantom and wrote him for almost ever.
Right. I'm sure there must be some art out there that they haven't used. So.
Yeah, I think,
been used.
Dude, I think, like, I don't know about individual issue numbers because of how things like were just issued differently back in the old days. But I think Lee Falk wrote the Phantom longer than Todd McFarlane worked on Spawn, because I think Todd holds the record, right, for like most issues kind of thing when he hit 301.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but he didn't write all of his issues or whatever. He doesn't now, at least. I don't know if he got the record then Todd. I don't know the details, but I know Lee Falk was on Phantom for just an excessive amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, went from comic strips to comic books and bounced around and stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. As Mad Cave, man, this sounds bad, and I'm glad Mad Cave's doing it, but I wish Dynamite was doing it. And this, man, I just wish it had the variant formula that Dynamite. No one has a better variant formula than Dynamite. They just don't. Like say you got 5 covers, and they do low end ratios, like a 1 in 5, a 1 in 10, a 1 in 15. They don't make you, oh, you can have a 1 in 25. Like, no, you get a cool foil cover without paying 50, 40, 25. It's just, instead of $3.99, it's $5.99. I'm like,
yeah, they do the regular and the virgin and the black and white and the foil trade and the foil virgin, and that's the formula that they use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think, like right now, like, dude, you know I love the Ghost Machine stuff. I bleed blue when it comes to DC Comics. But right now, dude, I swear by Dynamite with what they're doing with the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Like, I just find myself grinning ear to ear every time I see one of their new books. They read amazingly, and it's just, I don't know. And I just pictured, like, what would Francisco Matina's Phantom cover look like? You know what I mean? That would be dope. More options, make more money for them.
It would look like a Batman cover wearing a Phantom costume.
It would look like Alex Ross drew the Phantom, but with digital color somehow. Yeah. How did he come up with it? It looks so familiar, but so new. But this is so on point. But the fact that you're able to unlock ratios at such a low order number, that's so fair. These big ones, Marvel and DC have room to do stuff like that to where smaller comic shops, and I don't mean like little like gas station comic shops, but I mean like actual brick and mortar stores can get in and get some of these ratios, because that's really how, like, that puts some profit margin in the store. I mean, what's 4 or 5 ratios? A couple 1 in 25s, a 1 in 50 if you're lucky. I mean, that's only like, hell, that's not even $100 a shop makes. But if you can get in at these low number ratios, I mean, that helps generate revenue for the store. Why aren't these big shops making these low ratios? It doesn't make sense to me. Dynamite has cracked the code with the variants. They've just done it. Did you see the Thanos Soul Stone from the Magic the Gathering Spider-Man drop. Those cards are beautiful. I did not. Brian LCS, he had pre-ordered a box with ABX Comics and Games, the community's comic shop here in Augusta, Georgia, where if you're not even local, you can set up a long-distance pool shop or pool box, free shipping on orders over $100. He pre-ordered the box from them, and he came down yesterday for Batman Day, but he picked up his box. I think he had like 2 boxes that was associated with it, like the actual box with all the cards, and maybe like a box that was exclusive to if you pre-ordered or something like that. But he said he's going to open them up on his channel, maybe make some shorts out of them. So, yeah, I don't know nothing about him other than there's Magic the Gathering Spider-Man themed set. So it'd be fun to play or collect either way. Pretty cool stuff, though. Oh, man. What are we talking about? Phantom. Oh, yeah. Batman Day. Yep. Did that. What else did I read this week? New Gods. Getting next issue is the penultimate issue. The Nectari have arrived at Earth. Seraphim looks like he's given some pushback to Maxwell Lord. It was revealed that he's working with the Apocalyptian scum. So things are falling apart on that aspect of it. It looks like it's going to be all-out war for the next 2 issues, and I think Seraphim's actually going to pull an audible and be the good guy by the end of this. Ron V's crushing that story. It's amazing. But I think I messed up and put all the books up as I read them. I read so much over the weekend, and there's only a couple books out here. So ones that I haven't read now. What's that one?
Justice League Red.
That one is here. This untrustworthy android.
Exactly.
Yeah, we brought Cyborg into this issue. You follow Cyborg along as he breaks into a tech company to steal this high-end chip that's being manufactured illegally. Come to find out, the Red Tornado lied to him that he just stole this chip from the proper owners and manufacturers of it. So basically, this issue is Power Girl, Simon Baz, and Cyborg confronting Red Tornado on why did you just send us to these missions under false pretenses? You lied to us. That wasn't a dangerous robot. That was a farm harvesting crop machine. And he explains to them, like, oh, these algorithms are still running, that they would have harvested that crop. It would have fed the neighboring planet, who's then go on to invade. It would cause calamity, blah, blah, blah. And Cyborg points out to him, like, dude, there's no way that you can run these algorithms and come to this conclusion. I would know firsthand they're only between X margin of error. And he's like, I concede you're right, but that's why I needed that chip I just had you steal for me so I can double check and run them more accurately. And right before they're ready to go snitch on Red Tornado and just throw in the towel, he reveals to him that Red Canary has been captured by Brother Blood, and she's about to be tortured. So Simon Baz and Cyborg take off to go rescue her, while Power Girl kind of sits in the satellite and watches and contemplates what she should do about Red Tornado. When should she go snitch on him to the Justice League? They want to go rescue Red Tornado first, or Red Canary first. So it's a little odd, a little weird. We don't know if there's false pretenses or to what degree there's false pretenses. I mean, it is Red Tornado. I'm inclined to trust him, but I think there's got to be more to it than just I ran some scenarios and it looks like the end of the world if we don't do these things behind the scenes.
Yeah, and big reveal at the very end is are Kara's parents still alive?
Yeah, and keep in mind, Black Adam didn't show up this issue.
Right.
They moved him into the story at the end of the last issue where he's noticing what's happening. But yeah, Red Tornado looks like he has an ace up his sleeve to try to keep Kara in line. Like, hey, I found your parents. They're in this thing. Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens, penultimate issue. The Zalians brought down Mecha King Ghidorah in the last issue. And this one starts out with seeing where it has just rocked the entire planet. The Zalians have taken over. Mecha King Ghidorah has taken out everybody. But the Simian aliens have counterattacked with an amped up version of Jet Jaguar that freed Godzilla. So they got a little fight going. And they have the original King Ghidorah at their disposal that they Frankensteined back to life and are about to set it loose. So we're about to have an amped up Jet Jaguar, Godzilla, and the OG King Ghidorah against Gigan, Mecha Godzilla, and Mecha King Ghidorah for the fate of the world in next month's finale. Very excited for it. The Godzilla Kaisei era, the brand new Connected Universe number 2, pretty solid. there's a lot, dude. It's hard to even get into. It's pretty much just modern version of G-Force, where the people there, the same atomic energy that Godzilla charges up and shoots. It's not an atomic energy in this. It's just kaiju unique energy called Kaisei energy. People can, you remember Godzilla -1, how at the end it revealed that the girl was alive, that they thought dead, and they showed the weird stuff on her skin, like she was affected, like infected. Like imagine if people can get infected, but it can also manifest in abilities. Like you're mutated, basically. Instead of radiation mutation, it's this specific kaiju radiation mutation. So that's what G-Force consists of, these people that they've band together from that. There's all kinds of monsters on this world, mutated things, just not just the traditional Godzilla villains. And there was these like slug-looking esque monsters that they found out were able to leech off of Kaisei energy, drain it from kaiju, but it also made them bigger. So they try to get some of them, and they're going to actively put them in like the feeding route of Godzilla and stuff, and see if they can drain him. But things go bad when pirates kind of hop on board. And these are pirates inside of this wasteland of a world that they live in, so they're wild, and it ends up with a massive battle and Godzilla approaching their ship right at that point. And that's where it cuts you off for the next issue. Godzilla Dead Zone #2, which connects to that universe, I haven't read yet, but I'm very excited to. It read like Ultra Mega #1 did, so I'm excited to see what they do with that. What's going on, Drew Manchu? How are you? But yeah, that's what's going on in Godzilla this week.
Oh.
I'll keep you posted next week on what happens at Dead Zone. You got any other ones for this week?
The only one I have is Absolute Flash, but we'll cover that tomorrow morning.
Already recorded. I do have Sisterhood #3 from Ghost Machine, as well as G.I. Joe #11 from the Energon universe, both of which are my 2-read stack. World's Finest did have its finale for the Bizarro World storyline, where they were trying to rescue Bizarro World. They did it. They did it with Brainiac's enlarging ray. The core of Bizarro World was expanding, so they expanded the planet evenly to make sure the cube didn't implode. Meanwhile, they used Bibbo, who's a mixologist in the real world, so he's a chemist on Bizarro World, to come up with a concoction to cure them of the infection that was going around, making them smart. So all the Bizarros are back to Bizarros, and it had a heartfelt ending where you had Bizarro and Bat-Zarro both with normal mind and consciousness, and they're holding the cure that would turn them back into Bizarro-minded. And Bizarro asked Bat-Zarro, he's like, "You sure you want to do this? I know you have like your own motives in this." He's like, "Dude, there's no way I'm letting you do this by yourself. Friends to the end." And they cheers it, and they hit it together. They're the world's finest Bizarro team. It was a cool little moment. Nice. It really was. I'm like, yeah, it was good stuff. That's all I got. I want to remind everybody that as soon as I end this stream, I'll be heading straight over to Paramount Plus. Tulsa King is back. Season 3, now available as of today. See what Sylvester Stallone, Sly Stallone, and the gang are up to. Yeah, we got Frank Grillo. Rick Flag Sr. is a regular. Was introduced in last season, so he'll be there in this as well. So many books this week. I appreciate you guys keeping me up to date with a lot of these books. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more too. I just put them away, unfortunately. And next week, hopefully everything will be here by then and be able to show everybody what's going to be in the Legion loot, because it won't be next Sunday, but it'll be the following Sunday. We'll draw for the Legion loot winner. So any channel members in the Legion tier will put your name on the wheel, and we'll spin it and give away a giant stack of cool stuff. World's Finest, Superman and Batman, just doing stuff. Exactly. That's what they're doing. Stuff. Lots of it. It's really, I can't believe we're up to 43 issues of that, man.
Maybe we'll be at 50 before you know it. So
I get us a nice little oversized. The next issue, we're going back to the Robin and Supergirl. We're going to do another one of those stories that we did like back at like issue umpteen, where they went on their first date together when they first met, and they were doing a second date now. So that'll be fun. It's a layover issue. The format of this book is amazing. You get these epic grand scale stories that are contained in this one book, but you do get layover issues between those. So we'll do a one shot with Robin and Supergirl on a second date, and then we'll get into what the next story arc will be. But I'm excited for whatever it is. This has been a great series. Just good old-fashioned story. That's why Rick Flag Sr. doesn't have white hair. Yeah, it is. Tulsa King. So when they originally slated Rick Flag Sr. and drew him for Creature Commanders, they had him in white hair, but because of scheduling conflicts with filming Superman and Tulsa King, he wasn't able to dye his hair white. That's why it's white in Creature Commandos, but not in anything else. Now that it's not white, you got to consistently keep it not white. But it is coiffed. It is coiffed. Best DC title for me. That's a fair one, dude. The Amazo War solidified World's Finest run is like one of my favorite modern runs. That was just so good. But there's been some really great story arcs. The Devil Nazah stuff in the beginning that they did. And I like how they used this in spring.
Revisiting the Kingdom Come.
Oh my God. That was the toughest we've seen Darkseid since the New 52 rolled him out. How he just arms behind his back. He was larger than life, just kind of moving through the battlefield. Just, man, that was super wild. We got some really great covers out of that too. We got the Nick Cage cover, thanks to World's Finest, the William Shatner cover, the
Stephen Colbert,
the Seinfeld. Like, dude, like we got some great fun cover. Like, now that's how you do a variant. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do a unique, why would I buy another cover? Well, because celebrity that you might enjoy is on there. No, you don't see that too often in modern times. But yeah. Good stuff. But I appreciate everybody hanging out watching. Tomorrow I've got a $50 monthly mystery box that I have open. If you're a channel member, you already have access to it. If not, it'll be available to check out tomorrow. The DC Deep Dive will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. looking at Absolute Flash. Banger of an issue. And then this is Guess That Key Week, right?
It is.
So we got John's Comics with Friends, Asterisk, and who else?
Dale of Suspense.
Dale is Suspense is there. Nice. So John and Dale, it'll be a fun show.
The Batman giveaway package this time.
Massive Batman. A lot of shiny books too. But that's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate everybody coming and watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out. And until next time, as always, we are Legion.
Only one of us has a parachute. Good luck.